Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring you another battle. It will be an OU match against a person by the name of Alk, and according to Alk, he will murder my children. That is what he said to me after I said hello with a smiley face. Don't know what his problem was, but who cares. This is a rain team that I built. It's just basically some rain Pokemon that I've been testing out. I've got the Thundurus T on there, or Tornadus T, because Tornadus T is fun, and, you know, Rotom Wash is running around anyway, so I don't feel bad about running Tornadus T. People want to use Rotom Wash, fine. It stops Tornadus T to an extent. I don't care. But, I mean, as long as it's accessible, I'm going to use it. So, as you can see, I'm kind of using a little bit of a different team. I don't have any Stealth Rocks, which is strange for me. But I do have spikes in the form of Klefki. Klefki is just a defensive set. I have a Porygon 2, which is also a defensive set. My Politoed's specially defensive. And now I have a mixed Aegislash, and most of you are going to be going, but ProPokeNoob, don't you like the Swords Dance Aegislash? Well, yes, I do. This thing, though, with the spooky plate, which someone pointed, I think it was Captain Titanic or something like that. One of you guys that comment a lot. You told me that spooky plate Aegislash for my creeper commentary there, that it's actually a standard thing and it's mixed. So I've been trying it. It's pretty good. I don't know. I still think because it's a sword and a shield, it should be like, you know, Swords Dance setup, kill everything with Shadow Sneak. But I guess in this current meta, it's better mixed, and it has saved me against Gliscors and other physical walls. Blah, 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 blah. I'm using it because I wanted this team to be a little bit more serious, and as you can see, I have a Mega Blastoise. My opponent is running a relatively terrifying team. He's got the Talonflame, he has the Scizor, and he has the Aegislash. Those are very offensive Pokemon that could do a lot of damage to my team. The main thing that I am worried about is priority, believe it or not. Between the Talonflame and the Scizor, not that Scizor's Bullet Punch will really hit anything of mine for huge damage. It can dent Tornadus T. It can do, well, you'll see that Porygon 2 might take damage from it. But, I mean, between the Gale Wings, Brave Bird, and the Bullet Punch, just have to make sure that I don't get low enough, or the Aegislash's Shadow Sneak. I just have to make sure I don't get low enough to the point where he can pretty much win with priority, because the only priority that I have is Shadow Sneak on Aegislash and Klefki, which only has priority, like, Substitute and T-Wave, so I can't really rely on that. Anyways, let's just get into this. I'm going to lead off with Klefki. He is going to lead off with the Rotom Wash. I am going to go for the Substitute just to see what he wants to do, maybe figure out an item. He actually goes for Will-O-Wisp, which tells me he is a defensive set most likely, because Scarf Will-O-Wisp is my thing, but the good thing is he did not break my sub, so he has to hard switch, which is weird. I guess he didn't want to take a Thunder Wave, which is a very good play. I just go for the Spikes. As he goes into Volcarona, I am going to go for the T-Wave now. This thing does not have a Lumberry. He does get paralyzed. That's okay. As long as this thing is slowed down, I really don't have to fear its sweeping potential. If it has Quiver Dance, we'll deal with it after that. But he goes for the Fiery Dance, which shows me that he most likely may or may not have it. He actually might have it. He just never goes for it. But he is Life Orb, which is nice, which means if I can get a Paralysis on him, I can try and keep stalling him out for a little bit of damage. Doesn't work, he gets a Special Attack raise. It's at this point, because he's at +1, I do need to deal with him. So I'm just going to immediately switch out into my Politoed, get the Rain Up, and this +1 Fiery Dance is going to do nothing. And he's going to go to +2, but because Politoed's in the rain especially, I can threaten him out with a Scald. No problema! He's going to switch it out, and he's going to go into his Rotom Wash, which is a perfect play. I go for the Scald, and I get the burn, which is very nice. You will see that this does play a big part in this game, having this Rotom Wash being continuously whittled down by the burn. I'm going to go for the Protect, as he actually ends up going for Volt Switch. Now, on this turn, I figured he'd probably predict me to switch and go for Will-O-Wisp, so I'm actually just going to stay in and absorb it with my Politoed. I don't want much of anything to be burned on my team, but he actually misses. So I'm just going to go for Scald, and I kind of expected to be burned, but he misses. That's unfortunate for him, and now I'm just going to go for another Protect. I thought he would see this coming, because all I'm doing right now is really just wearing this guy down, because Rotom Wash actually does wall Tornadus T. Well, not wall, but it's a pretty good wall again. Well, it does wall. Okay, it does wall. But it can threaten my team. It's just a very nice defensive wall that just screws my team over, so trying to get it killed. He goes down to Aegislash. I go for the Scald. I don't get the burn. I'm kind of hoping I can get the burn on this Aegislash. That's my best bet at this point. I really don't know who to switch in, and I don't want him to switch in on a hit. He is the Swords Dance variant. Attaboy, using the right one. But, I do get the burn on this Scald, which is really unfortunate for him, because as you can see, this +2 Sacred Sword does a lot of damage, and I am the special defense especially defensive Politoed. So, I mean, if I was physically defensive, wouldn't have mattered as much, but that was a lot of damage. I am going to go for the Protect again. I guess he didn't see that coming, but at the same time, if he switched out because I have 2 layers of spikes, it would most likely die upon switch in. I am going to go into Klefki, which is physically defensive, and he is just going to go for the Shadow Sneak. He has to, or I kill him off with a Scald because I am faster. So, it's my best bet. I do absorb it. Now he goes into Scizor. I'm going to go for a sub just to see what he exactly wants to go for. I am faster than a Scizor because it does borrow Scizor speed, not Mega Scizor speed. And I think I'm still faster than Mega Scizor by priority's sake, or just by base speeds in general. But he does go for the Bullet Punch, and I'm just going to switch to Aegislash to take all of these hits. Now I am going to go for King Shield just to scout for Thief, because some people do run Thief, and that actually does quite a bit of damage to Aegislash, but he ends up having Defog, so he's that more defensive Mega Scizor that I've actually been seeing people play, not only on here, but on Wi-Fi as well, so maybe that's going to be the thing. Thief does threaten that thing a lot, though. I am going to go for a Shadow Ball on this Volcarona. It's going to take a fair amount of damage. I'm just going to go back into Politoed. I don't need to take any more damage for on the rest of my team, so Politoed could just pretty much absorb it. He is going to switch, though, and go into his Rotom Wash. I understand, but at this point, his Volcarona, unless he wanted to save it for some form of Death Fodder Switch Initiative, he's not really going to get it, and Volcarona really doesn't do anything for him. It's paralyzed, it's not going to kill anything. I could just keep subbing up with Klefki, and he won't be able to do anything to me. But he is going to go for the Volt Switch. Politoed's getting a little low. I really don't care, though. I could just keep going for Scald, as he actually is going to Haxorus, and I do go for the Scald, and I do get the Burn. And of course he is Lum DD, because that's the only Haxorus you can actually run effectively. Now, I'm kind of happy I did waste his Lum Berry, because on the off chance that he did a lot of damage to me here, I am free to go for Ice Beam. I don't have to worry about that Lum Berry, because if I go into Klefki, I would have to go for T-Wave, and if he still had that Lum Berry up, I'd have to use an extra turn, and if he had predicted that, used Earthquake or something like that, I would have been in trouble. But he does go for Outrage, I guess forgetting that I do have a Fairy type, so he is locked in. That's why Outrage is kind of frowned upon at this point. He's going to switch out and actually go for the Foul Play on this Mega Scizor, which doesn't do a lot of damage, but that's okay. But that's why Outrage is kind of like, yeah, you got to make sure the Fairy type's gone, kind of like using Thrash, waiting for a Ghost type. But either way, I'm going to go for the T-Wave. I just wanted some form of damage, or some form of status on this Mega Scizor. That's the main thing I was looking for. Paralysis is more than enough for me. That's all I want. Between a Bullet Punch, which I actually take, and a U-turn, he's going to be able to break the sub. Now, at this point, I know one of two things. He has to go for the Brave Bird, which means that he won't be able to kill me, and I'll be able to go for the T-Wave on him, or he can go for Flare Blitz, but I will outspeed him and get the Paralysis on him. So either way, I win by getting Paralysis on this Talonflame, because, I mean, yeah, he could have killed me, but he would have been paralyzed, which means he will be slower, and he'll be forced to use Brave Bird a little bit more. He'll have to use more Brave Birds. So, anyways, I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball, take out this take my own guy out. Absolutely. No, I'm going to take out the Volcarona. He is going to go into the Talonflame. I'm going to go for King Shield, as he actually gets paralyzed. He could have gone for Roost. I cannot tell. Paralysis is really messing him over this game, but I'm just going to go Klefki as Death Fodder, as he actually ends up going for the Flare Blitz, as I thought he would. No point in going for Brave Bird if I'm going to be going for King Shield. Might as well go for the kill. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I must introduce you to Duck. Now, he does get paralyzed on this turn, but Duck is becoming my new favorite wall. I've used the Porygon 2 before in 5th gen. I know its capabilities of absorbing hits beyond all imagination, but I never really used one as part of my defensive core. I just kind of used one. So I've used the Trick Room one. This is the defensive one with the Discharge and the Ice Beam and the Toxic and the Recover. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot express how much Duck just... Oh my god, I've been using Duck nonstop. Look at that Bullet Punch. Okay, I know this is more of a defensive Mega Scizor, but you have to think about Scizor. Technician, stab, Bullet Punch, like base 165 attack. Like, oh my goodness, man. Like, look at these hits. Look at this stab U. Oh no, he's gonna go for Roost. He's gonna go for a stab U-turn in a second, okay? Porygon 2 just stares at the U-turn and says, yeah, you get out of here. You bring in someone who can do some damage. This is becoming my new favorite wall. Truly, its only weakness is status, but it's becoming my new favorite wall. I'm not kidding you. Look at this. Talonflame. Okay, base 81 attack, yeah, Brave Bird. Look at that. Look at that damage. You tell me that anything else right now can really take that damage. resisted, or sorry, normal hit. That was a normal hit. Not even resisted. Okay, resisted is one thing. Normal hit, that's something different. Look at that. I should have gone for recover there, by the way, predicting the damage from Brave Bird. But either way, I didn't care. It would have been 30%. No problem. Take it, eat it up, see you later. Ridiculous. Haxorus is going to come in. Haxorus, hit me, please. Outrage. Like, can you smack Duck any harder? No, you can't. I go for the Ice Beam, kill it off. No problem. No problem, because Duck is love. Duck does not want to die. Duck is here forever. Porygon 2, in the books as the new favorite wall. He's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. His best bet is to get some sort of status on it. But it's not really going to pay off for him. I go for the Discharge, kill off the Rotom Wash. And that was another thing, because he's been switching so many guys through, all of his guys are really low. So, it just leaves room for Porygon 2 to sweep through most of his team. But now he is down to the Mega Scizor, which is a bulky set, so he's pretty much lost at this point. I have Tornadus T, and I have Aegislash. The most I'm fearing is if this guy somehow carries Swords Dance, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He has Defog, he has Bullet Punch, and he has U-Turn. I don't know his last move. Roost. He can't be carrying the Swords Dance. So, I guess I wasn't fearing that, now that I think about it, but he really doesn't stand a chance, so it's just me trying to take this thing out. Of course, he can try and stall out Porygon 2, even though it has recovers of his own, and I mean, I could just switch out and go into something that can kill his thing. I figured I'd finish this off with style. I can go into Blastoise, which will Mega Evolve, and will take another Bullet Punch very nicely, go for the Hydro Pump, and then finish this match off with a Mega Launcher boosted Dark Pulse. So that will be the match. Thank you very much, Alk. That was an excellent match. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this battle. This was a higher rated battle. I have mentioned that I made it up to 1700 in one of my Creeper commentaries, I believe. So battles will be getting a little bit more complex. I think the main mistake that Alk made here was saving too many of his guys. They just got too low, and my core was resistant enough that any type of sweeping he wanted to do, it just wasn't going to happen. So unfortunate for him, but he still played it well enough. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Until then, have an excellent day, and peace.